Greetings everyone, it is me Shadow Leon 659 once again, and today I would like to do a response video to a YouTuber by the name of Uncanny Jamin, who did a video of saying was Randall the hero and whatnot, and where he best describes how Randall was this misunderstood, should I say hero and whatnot. But I'm gonna prove that he is wrong on his points and whatnot. This is no grudge against him. I know that behind the camera he must be a decent guy and whatnot. Hold no grudges against him, but I'm gonna tell you how wrong he is on, should I say, his video and why Randall isn't what he seems.
So this leads us to the first crime that Randall is accused of, and that is, quite simply, working overtime. Now, the monster world is currently dealing with an energy crisis. There's not enough screams to go around. Despite this, the scarers, they work a standard shift with a lunch break, and as soon as the end of the day hits, they immediately stop and they all go home. This company does not have any night shift. They don't have any extra hours employees. Randall is not getting paid extra to work extra. But what he's doing here, he's being accused of working extra hours and cheating.
Wait a minute, Randall, that cheater, he's trying to boost his number.
The thing is, this isn't just a contest between them. This is his job. His job is to get as many screams as he can.
No. He was illegally working after hours if you were paying attention to the story. And regardless of if Monstropolis was in a power crisis or not, everyone knows that in a company you are not supposed to work after hours and whatnot. And on top of that, he was intentionally cheating just to boost his scare record and whatnot, as just a way of, should I say, rubbing it in Sully's face and whatnot and trying to prove he's the better scarer and all that stuff. And then we later discover that he was not just, should I say, cheating and everything. He was actually attempting to kidnap a child, which we later know is Boo and everything. So yeah, I don't believe for a second that Randall was doing it just to power Monstropolis, but rather doing it for his own selfish gain.
We soon learn that he's not just trying to put in overtime. He is not striving for that record in the same way that Sully is. He's striving for something bigger. Randall doesn't just want to be the best scarer. He wants the company to succeed. He wants the monster world to be able to get out of this energy crisis. He wants people to be able to live their lives with the energy they need to power their cars, to power their homes, to live on.
Okay, so many things wrong with this point. At no point is it ever brought up that Randall is doing this, should I say, for bettering the monster world. At no point did they ever establish that in the movie. He is just doing all this just for his own personal gain. It clearly shows how selfish and petty Randall is. And on top of that, he just wanted to do it of reaching the highs of, should I say, Water News, beating Sully at his own game, and he wanted to place himself on top and be addressed just to spit on Sully. There is no point given that he was doing it to help the monster world.
And that leads to the next thing that we find out. We find out that Randall isn't just working overtime. He has a bigger plan in action. He has developed a new machine that extracts screams from children. And so he kidnaps, or tries to kidnap, a child to power this machine. Now, that sounds horrible. It sounds absolutely horrible. I don't want to defend someone for kidnapping. But let's take a look at what information Randall is working out of here. The entire monster world is convinced that human children are dangerous. Not just dangerous, deadly. That a single touch from a human child can kill you.
There's nothing more toxic or deadly than a human child.
They have entire groups of people whose entire life is dedicated towards destroying anything that might make it back into the monster world, to containing any potential contaminants. And this goes to show this is a widespread belief. They don't view little children, human children, as these cute, defenseless, innocent beings. They view them as dangerous. They view them as their only real source of energy. The comparison here is not monsters to humans as it would be humans to humans. This is more of if we found some dangerous creature, and that dangerous creature was the only thing that could supply us with the power we need to live. That's the comparison here. So Randall wasn't striving to kidnap a child. He was striving to kidnap a fuel source that he believes is a dangerous creature. What Randall was doing here was putting his life on the line to try and better the monster world.
Once again, I see where you're coming at with the whole monsters believe that human children are toxic and whatnot. But consider this. Water News and Randall might have been aware that human children were not actually toxic at all, and Randall clearly knew that it was all just a bluff and whatnot. It's the whole children being, should I say, deadly and lethal to monsters was just a false rumor they spread and whatnot. Because as far as we know, when Sully and Mike came near her, at first they were scared and whatnot, but they soon discovered that she wasn't toxic and everything. That was just a false rumor to demonize, should I say, the human children and whatnot, to exploit them for what they are. And the Scream Extractor could be in the works for a very long time. And then it is later discovered that, wait, this was not all fun and games this whole time. We were actually scaring these poor innocent kids and whatnot. Which is why later on they switched from Scream Energy to Laugh Power as far as we are concerned. And ever since they discovered the truth about human children, the monsters could now freely work and interact with kids without, should I say, that fear-mongering tactic and whatnot, if you were paying attention to the story.
Looking at the monster world as it is when we begin this movie, where these monsters are going into the human world to try and harvest screams, they're essentially in a hunter-gatherer type of society. They're having to go out and find children and take back the energy they need. They have a sprawling civilization that is fueled by these screams. And yet, they're still having to go out and find the screams and bring them back. What Randall is trying to do here has happened throughout our history. This is the attempted move from a hunter-gatherer society to more of an agricultural farming type of society. He views the humans as just like cattle.
Serious?
Regardless of how the monsters felt about, should I say, children and whatnot, and despite them being scared of children and everything due to their alleged toxicity and whatnot, at no point did the monsters ever, should I say, consider treating them like animals and whatnot. It's, should I say, more of working at a nuclear plant and handling dangerous, should I say, radioactive material and whatnot, rather than, a hunter-gatherer thing. And should I say, the two were horrified, Mike and Sully specifically were horrified to discover of the Scream Extractor and whatnot. And speaking of Randall viewing them as cattle, you see, he was taking pleasure in trying to torture Boo and whatnot. You could even see the sinister grin on his face and whatnot, as if he intentionally wanted to sadistically torture kids and all that stuff. That is not something that a sane person would do, whether it's treating cattle like that or not. That is not something that someone would do. Randall, as far as we know, is a complete monster, and he does not care about the lives of human children. And when word got out of what Water News wanted to do, the whole monster community was beyond horrified to discover what his actions were. So yeah, that is why, should I say, I don't agree with that other point of yours, but more power to you. You completely misunderstand that scene.
Randall, on the other hand, is just being told by Mr. Waternoose what to do. He's being told how to set this up for the betterment of the company. But he's being kept in the dark as to what they are actually doing and what it really means morally in regards to what this child is. Randall is not innocent because of the actions he took, but he's somewhat innocent in that he didn't realize the extent of what he was doing. To him, this was a monster that he has to deal with to help his world, not a defenseless child. So in the end, Randall is nothing more than a misinformed employee trying to make the world a better place.
Oh, Randall is some misunderstood employee, huh? So by that logic, Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park is a misunderstood employee because he sabotaged Jurassic Park and was just desperate for money and whatnot. That really doesn't make any sense. By the way, Randall was fully aware of his actions. He was taking pleasure in trying to torture Boo and all that stuff. He showed no qualms of trying to kidnap God knows how many children and sadistically torture them for, should I say, their screams and whatnot, which would have resulted in physical, mental, and emotional damage. Think of all the consequences those two, especially Randall, would have done and whatnot. And plus, there were many instances of where Randall wanted to kill Mike and Sully on top of that, and threatened to torture Boo. If it wasn't for Sully trying to save Boo in time, think of all the emotional damage that would have caused her. And by the way, on top of that, should I say, Randall would later be banished to the human world and whatnot. And then eventually during the season 2 finale of Monsters at Work, when, should I say, Johnny comes to rescue him from, should I say, the redneck family who mistook him for an alligator and whatnot, it's later revealed that the guy got even worse because he was willingly trying to sabotage, should I say, Monsters Inc. and whatnot, just for pettiness and everything, whereas, should I say, Johnny was trying to do it to shame Monsters Inc. and whatnot and prove that his company is better and all that stuff. Randall was shown to be even worse as he probably knew that the combination of scream and laugh power will result in a disaster that could potentially kill numerous lives. So yeah, I disagree with your points on Randall being completely innocent and misunderstood. I get where you're trying to come at, but I'm sorry, man, I disagree with you on your points, and that is why I don't believe for a second that Randall was some misunderstood hero. So anyway, everyone, that was a response video to the Uncanny J-Man's video of why Randall was innocent and everything. So what are your thoughts on this video? Let me know in the comment section down below, and thanks for watching as always. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Shadow Leon 659 signing out. Goodbye and take care.